No lie, I kind of feel bad for Obafemi because he went from having matches with the likes of Brock Lesnar to about to have a match with Jey Uso, who runs out of breath in almost every promo he has and runs out of breath in every match he has, puts on some of the worst performances, and even admitted to doing so on Cody's podcast. So this isn't just forced hate like the Shields try to say. He said it. The company said it by putting him back with Jimmy. But then since they saw that his tag team run was gaining traction, they wanted to try and do the same thing they did before, which is force him down the audience's throats because he was getting over as a tag team wrestler again. So what did they do? Instead of giving Jimmy a chance, which Jimmy is the better Uso because not only can he wrestle on his own, but he doesn't run out of stamina super duper quick. They also, Jimmy Uso was the first with the Yeet stuff. In 2021, he had a Yeet hoodie during the pandemic. Jimmy Uso never really gets his just due, you know? He's the better Uso, the better wrestler, more athletic, better character, better talker, doesn't get anything. Like, I just don't understand. The only thing that's forced is this Jay push. And they talk about the Jay hate is forced. You go watch all of his matches, especially go watch Saturday Night's main event versus Jey Uso versus CM Punk. You'll see what everyone's talking about. Dude tried to deliver a sidewalk slam to Logan Paul. I don't get why. No, I do get it. You know, it's the shilling and the coping and all that stuff. It's ridiculous. Obafemi was talking to Jey Uso during this promo, and then then Jey Uso was like, "No, let me run it back," and so he ran it back during the promo, and you can just see on Oba's face that's how all of us were looking at home. Because with this Jay thing, it's so forced to the point where they'll sit there and book for 1,000 to 2,000 people instead of booking for 1 million to 2,000 people at home. So yeah. They just had Jay do the same thing that he's been doing, which drives away the audience at home and makes the ratings plummet. When Jey Uso was the world champion, the ratings were plummeting. So they just took it off of him after 4 weeks. But yeah, Obafemi had the same exact look on his face that we all had at home. And then after that, Jey Uso delivered a warning shot to Obafemi, and the crowd was silent. Go listen to the clip yourself. Jey Uso said, "This is a warning shot, Oba." Bow. And the audience didn't say a word. They didn't cheer. They didn't react. They didn't yeet. They didn't do anything. But the only thing that Jey Uso needs to send a warning shot to is his cardio. Because I guarantee you, he's gonna get gassed against Obafemi. Has nothing to do with age, has nothing to do with being younger. AJ Styles was delivering springboard moonsault DDTs and 450s and phenomenal forearms in 2026 and 2025 and 2024 and 2023, 2021, 2020. And he was above his 40s. He'll be 50 next year. AJ Styles is 49 years old. He was doing a lot more things than Jey Uso is right now. And the Usos and Roman are just now 40. So the excuse of, well, it's his age, man, you got to be... No. Jimmy Uso performs a lot better and still never got his credit. He's always been the side piece, been the side character for so long, and he's been my favorite Uso. You got Jay over here who can't hang with the rest of them by himself as a single star, and that's okay. Some people just aren't meant to be outside of the tag division. They keep trying to force this man, and then try to compare him to a 09 Hardy. That's disrespectful to 09. No, Jeff Hardy of any era. What are you talking about? So, anyways, we get Lyra Valkyria and Bayley versus Brie Bella and Paige. And then Paige pins Lyra. Lyra turns heel. Now, I saw a lot of people online saying, yeah, we're finally going to get Demon Lyra, bro, from the Indies. No, you're not. They all water her down. Look what they did to Natty. They took her GCW Natty gimmick and ruined it and watered it down so much to the point where it's unrecognizable. And then they feuded her with Maxine because Maxine wasn't getting this wrestling thing. She wasn't grasping it quick enough. So sacrificed Natty's Natty gimmick in order to get Maxine over. instead of pushing more women who are actually getting it, you know, and waiting for a spot to be on TV, they tried to manufacture Maxine as a wrestler, even gave her a title and all that. Once they realized that it wasn't working, they pulled the plug. They did the same thing with Jay, but now they're just doubling down harder. You got Jay Uso on his Instagram story, trolling fans, saying, haha, even if y'all don't like it, y'all still gonna watch me. If I win, y'all riot, haha. Laugh, stay mad, haha. You know, garbage like that. During his match on SmackDown between Javon Evans and Jey Uso, he delivered a terrible spear. Every time we get to see how much of a fraud this push really is, you know, it never fails, man. It never fails. This is about as bad as Roman Reigns. No, actually, Roman Reigns' Big Dog era, it was better than this era because Roman Reigns was actually wrestling in good matches. Jey Uso can't even perform by himself like that. But unfortunately, it's the era we in, of course. And this Chad Gable thing, they're trying to force this thing with Chad Gable. But the only problem is the audience wasn't in participation. Now, usually when they go overseas, they're able to do a lot less. They're able to put in a lot less effort because people overseas will cheer for anything because they don't really get the product in person like that. But even here, the audience was bored. Yeah, it's not working with it. So apparently WWE's trying to force their version of his theme song with the AI slop, the AI beat and the AI rock and roll, the AI voice, and they're trying to force it and they're trying to force it to the audience. Instead of keeping his OG theme song that had nothing wrong with it, they're trying to push this new song for whatever reason. Even though it's not working, they're trying to push it. And if there are certain fans who don't like the theme song, they're part of the problem too. We're living in an era where, you know, the fans are the problem. The fans can go F off if they don't like something, you know. Instead of just changing something when it's not working, they're going to sit here and actually try to force this song. Chad Gable, for his entire entrance in London, was him clapping and saying and telling the audience, come on, clap with me. And the audience wasn't clapping because they don't like the song. Instead of changing his theme song back to what it should have been in the first place, which was his OG theme song, his American Alpha theme song, they're going to do this every week until they see people clapping. They're going to do this for weeks and months until they see people finally participating. It is so weird, man. It is so weird. It is so weird, man. It's like trying to force kids to eat broccoli. Sometimes if you can't do it, just stop. Just stop trying to try. No means no. You know something isn't working when the international crowds don't like it. So we get Chad Gable trying to apologize to Alpha Academy, and then that fails, and then they go their separate ways. We get Ethan Page versus Dragon Lee for no reason, exhibition match. That was, you know, just a match. And then Ethan Page wins via low blow. And then Jackie Redmond is interviewing the Vision, and then Logan Paul gives the quote of the year by saying he is the fastest human being of all human beings to heal as human beings. He's talking about his arm, you know, but yeah, Logan Paul's a human being, and Logan Paul's funny, but also I just, even though that people don't like him, rightfully so. I mean, you know, he's not a good person. He doesn't have to be here. You know, Logan Paul is injured and he's on TV every week because he wants to be. A lot of people don't respect the craft. A lot of people don't even know what a side headlock takeover is, or an Irish whip, or a cravat. So to see that Logan Paul is there because he cares that much, you know, I got to give some credit. I got to give some respect to the guy. I really do. But then after that, we get Rusev becoming a meme once more. And then we get Liv Morgan talking to Io and saying that she's the greatest women's world champion of all time and saying how she's better than Io. But the only problem was Io Shirai was given the championship in 2025. They had nothing for her for 2 months, and she had 0 defenses in those 2 months. And she was in catering for 2 months. Now with Liv Morgan, she was given the championship WrestleMania. She was given the championship, didn't wrestle for 2 months, didn't defend the championship for 2 months, and and didn't sit in catering, but sat in a clubhouse and as a manager for the Judgment Day matches as champion. So they're not, I mean, she's not much better than Io Shirai when it comes to being a champion. Hell, they're probably equals because they both went 2 months without defending the titles because Creative had nothing for them. So, so yeah, like I think they're pretty neck and neck. We get LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso, and the audience, you know, the ADHD crowd. So the audience was bored during this match, and usually they'll chant "This is awesome," but the crowd was bored during this match, so they chanted "This is awesome" because they had nothing else to do. They were quiet and they were bored. So the audience, having ADHD and, you know, and all these types of all these types of things, they chanted "This is awesome" unenthusiastically, just to say something. Like the audience just can't sit still. They have to be doing something. They have to cheer the faces, they have to cheer the heels, boo the faces, boo the heels, cheer the faces. This is awesome. You deserve it. You deserve it. You know, you earned it, you know, just something. So yeah, we got "This is awesome" from the audience. The only problem was the audience was falling asleep. So I think "This is awesome" was just a way for them to just be doing something. You know, just ultimate ADHD audience. We get Danhausen cursing JD McDonough, but the only problem was he was already cursed to begin with. Ever since he joined the Judgment Day, he's been their local jobber, and he's been the one to take the losses, been the one to take the beatings, been the one to take any type of offense from anyone else. But I mean, back in 2024 and 2025, no Judgment Day segment would end without JD getting destroyed and getting beat up on. So doesn't really mean anything. Or like this curse, just honestly, the curse, he's better off being cursed at this point. We got Solo Sikoa, and honestly, Solo Sikoa as a face would feed generations. But I know they're not going to do it right, so I'm not even going to get my hopes up. But yeah, he Samoan spikes Jimmy Uso, and that's why LA Knight ends up winning. But just to smile at man, Solo is such a troll. I love it, man. It's great, man. It's fantastic. So then we get the Vision versus the Street Profits. We get Joe Hendry coming back. And the thing is, Joe Hendry is not a tag wrestler, you know, but since they brought him up with no creative direction whatsoever, they just needed some place to put him. So he's like, might as well put him in the Vision Vortex. And unfortunately, factions are booked to where either they're extremely boring, extremely incompetent to where they lose most of their matches, but they're supposed to be dominant. Or they'll just have this super long drawn out story, or they'll just have rivalries that go on and on and on to where it becomes a vortex. The MFTs, the Bloodline 2.0, and now the Vision. So the fact that Joe Hendry came up and got nothing just to have a Vision Vortex storyline is just honestly kind of sad. And apparently we're gonna have OBA FEMI being sucked into the Bloodline, not the Bloodline Vortex. That's LA Knight. He's gonna be stuck in the Vision Vortex, because not only is he probably gonna have a tag match with them, but after the show, he fought the Vision and saved Seth Rollins. Joe Hendry and OBA FEMI have no business in the tag team division at all. Those are two stars to where they're actually single star. Like a tag team would actually hold them back. It makes no sense for Joe Hendry. The dude has concerts. There's no reason why he should be in the tag team vortex with the Vision. But unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbles when you have zero creative direction for people, but you just want to call them up. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Congratulations to the Street Profits, though. But other than that, I mean, it was. This show was just just a show, and OBA FEMI's facial expressions really just captured the essence of the show.